We'll see. All right. Well, Matthew, let's close out this episode with the one and only One Piece. And chapter 1056, it happened 2 weeks ago. Actually, no, last week. I'm sorry. It happened last week.
There was not one this week.
Yeah, Shonen Jump is taking their Obon holiday this week, so that's why none of the series had a chapter going. So
that's why they were doing that. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So the publication took a break.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, Matthew. Yeah. So I think we really have to, there's a lot to digest with what happened in this chapter. So I think some of the easy stuff to, see from what happened here. So I'm pulling up the wiki right now, and just kind of go over some of the bullet points about this. But so I guess a couple of the big reveal I'm gonna leave for last, because that's definitely, I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so let's kind of go over some of the stuff that's gonna happen with the actual, like with Wano and with the Straw Hats in general. Some of the local stuff that's happening. So basically, Rokugyu's gone. Shanks convinced him to leave the island, so it looks like Luffy and company won't have to fight. Now that we have the Monster Quartet, they were ready to go out, but it's.
I think they would have taken out Rokugyu. They've gotten to that.
Well, I mean, yeah, for Luffy to be on his feet so quickly like that, that means that he's had to grow a lot more in terms of recovery and stuff like that. I mean, so it wasn't. I'm not gonna say it wasn't an easy. Well, obviously it wasn't an easy battle. I mean, you're taking on a couple of Yonkos, for crying out loud.
And he was out for what, 2-3 days?
Okay, yeah. So he was out. So he was kind of unprotected. So that's. I think for the Scabbards and Momonosuke to stall Rokugyu to the point that Shanks was able to come in and convince him to stop. But even then, yeah, I think you're right. Luffy and Zoro and Sanji and Jinbei, they would have been ready to go.
They were ready to go. If it hadn't turned out, if things had gone south, they were ready to go.
And again, it's not the Monster Trio anymore. Now it's the Monster Quartet. I can't imagine.
Two of them have conquerors.
Yeah, so I can't imagine probably
one of the reasons why Rokugyu left was because he couldn't handle Shanks's conquerors hockey.
Yeah, so, and kind of makes me wonder about like with the other admirals, but I gotta imagine at least one of the current admirals, and that includes Sakazuki. One of them's bound to have conquerors hockey, but obviously, I think by seeing the Rokugyu withdrawal, not every admiral is going to have conquerors hockey.
Well, we've talked about it because we've only seen armament so far. And armament and observation from the admirals.
Right.
So
it's a requirement for if you're gonna, obviously I think it goes like Commodore, Rear Admiral, Vice Admiral, and then Admiral. And in order to become an admiral, you have to have some form of hockey. And
I don't know how you can make it to Vice Admiral and not have some kind of hockey.
Yes, that's very well. No,
I don't know if that's possible. There may be more Vice Admirals, but I legitimately don't know how it's possible, because you're not talking about, Well,
no. In order to be at the admiral rank, doesn't matter which admiral it is, you have to have hockey.
which kind of makes some of the filler kind of questionable.
Well, filler is non-canonical, so
Yeah.
I don't even worry about the filler.
Wait, so even to get at the Commodore, so 1-star Admiral rank?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Which is why, what was it? Remember the one Commodore that was taken out by Arlong's team? I think his name was like Pudding or something like that.
Yeah, again.
But he wasn't filler. He was in the manga. So he probably had like armament. But
yeah, but that does nothing if you're being taken on by fishmen at,
in their territory.
Yeah, in their territory. They tore his ship apart.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's like armament is like only good at a certain capacity, so.
Right. So anyway, so it looks like peace has been restored. But then the next big thing about what's going on in Wano is that Momonosuke and Hiyori have met Kozuki Sukiyaki. So, and I think
And have the vassals.
And the vassals. Sukiyaki's been kind of beating himself up about not being able to do anything for the past 20 some odd years, but hey, you can only do so much, especially when you're in prison. But again, here's the funny thing that happened was pretty much all the scabbards knew that the Tengu was Sukiyaki, except for Kinemon, who once again misses out on a lot of things and doesn't realize, what's happening. So again, he did not realize that the Tengu was Sukiyaki. So that's a funny thing there. But here's something that I think will be a serious implication about this meeting now between Kozuki Sukiyaki and Momonosuke and Hiyori, because that means, and I think you know this, Matthew, Sukiyaki is the same as Robin. He has the ability to read the poneglyphs because he taught that to Oden.
Not just that, but he has the knowledge of how to create a poneglyph. Because only the shoguns of Wano knew how to create that. So we originally thought with Sukiyaki's passing that knowledge had gone extinct.
And Oden had that knowledge too.
Yeah, so we
knew. Right, Sukiyaki had supposedly died, and then Oden was executed, which meant that that technology, that knowledge was basically extinct for Wano. But because of the fact that now Sukiyaki is alive, and now that he has these, meetings, he's now met his grandkids, that, hey, this could definitely be something for the future. I mean, if there is the need to create a poneglyph, but definitely, I think that, Sukiyaki should not waste this opportunity to teach his grandkids about how to read the poneglyphs.
And to be able to, if nothing else, at least pass on the knowledge of creating it. You don't have to create a poneglyph, but you need to pass that knowledge on.
Right. So that's an interesting thing. And then the other thing, and it looks like Tsuru, who was the wife of Kinemon, she now knows that she's alive, and she knows that he's alive too. So looks like they're going to be reunited here soon. So that's a good thing. And and then here's the thing that has implications for the makeup of the Straw Hats going forward. So we saw that, because Sukiyaki's around, and because there's a need to protect Momonosuke, so, the scabbards, the ones who are left, and it's basically, right, so Inu Arashi and Nekomamushi are abdicating their positions on Zou, and they will stay in Wano, as part of the scabbard, because that's what they were. But that means that they have, of all the people, designated that Carrot will become the new ruler of the Momoko Dukedom, which is the kingdom on Zou. And I think kind of in a way it's like, it's kind of a bit bittersweet in the fact that, hey, that this means that we're not going to see her on the with the Straw Hats going forward, in the series, because I think that there's just too much implications there that we're seeing with that, which is unfortunate. I would have loved to see Carrot, as part of the crew, because there were so many things that were going for her. Sorry?
So many things pointing towards it.
Right. There were so many hints and indications that, hey, she probably had a very good chance of becoming a part of the crew. But, it is what it is. That's how Oda's gonna write it. I'm not gonna, complain about it and stuff. I'm a bit disappointed that that's how it's gonna go, but, you can only do so much, right?
Yep.
But what that means, though, is that Yamato, on the other hand, she has made her decision. And she is planning, she's like running off at the end, but she is planning on becoming a part of the Straw Hats because she wants to live like Oden did, which means that my take then would be that she's going to be the log keeper. Now, you've got Nami, who's the navigator, so she makes maps, but it's different. That's a different position. So a log keeper, which is what Oden was doing, he was keeping logs of the journey. So I gotta imagine that's what's gonna be Yamato's role going forward.
Yeah, and Robin's archaeological role is also different.
Right, correct. So it does look like the three women who will be on the Straw Hats are going to be taking on, I don't know if I would say that they're administrative roles, more like there's various record keeping that's involved with their duties.
That's essentially administrative roles.
Okay. Yeah. So that's where that is going.
But they're all not inept.
Right.
I mean, Nami is still technically the weaker of the three, but she's not completely inept.
She's probably she's one of the smartest of the crew.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because of all the studying she had to do, Robin, all the studying she had to do and stuff. So, anyway.
Well, and let's face it, Nami had that moment to shine where she was about to get headbutted to death, literally, and she stood her ground and was like, Luffy will not stop until he is the king of the pirates.
Yeah.
But I think she's a little bit stronger with Zeus now.
Yeah, so it looks like Zeus is back in her possession, so that's, and so that's another way of improving her technology. And again, this is technology that Usopp produced.
Yeah.
The irony of that. But we do know that Pluton is on Wano, and
didn't Robin reveal that to
Yeah, she revealed that to the rest of the crew, so they know.
Yeah, and Frankie's like, what?
Yeah. So Shinobu has become younger, apparently. She's taking on Tama to be an apprentice in ninjutsu. So, and then I think the other thing is that
the three worst generation crews are deciding where to go.
Yep, they are going along. So the Straw Hats and Heart Pirates are going their separate ways because the reason why they made that alliance was to take down Kaido. And I'll tell you,
Pirates too.
The irony of it all was that I don't think Law definitely did not think that things were going to turn out the way that they did.
Yeah, the whole reason why he was doing it was he wanted to hurt
Doflamingo.
And it went further than it did. But he was a man of his word, and he was like, I gotta finish this to the end, so.
So, and then Law was a little bit nice because he gave Kid a copy of the road poneglyph. So I guess, you know, it's
but does Law and Kid have the copies of the rest of the real poneglyphs?
That's a good question.
Because if they only have that one copy, then
they're a little bit behind.
Yeah, Luffy's got what? Three copies? Like the three road poneglyphs?
Yeah, because what does he have? He's got the one from Wano, right? He's got the one from Big Mom.
Wasn't number 3 on Fishman Island?
I don't know if it was Fishman Island or maybe it was Zoe. Let's see here. Where are they? Okay. Ella. Poneglyph. Road Poneglyph. So, let's see here. Yeah, the one in Zoe. So that's, which I gotta imagine then that means that Law would have gotten a copy of the one in Zoe, definitely. And then whether or not, you know, the Straw Hats shared Big Mom's road poneglyph with Law is a whole nother story. So that'll be interesting. And then they mentioned a man with a burn scar that could be the key to the war for the One Piece, which I'll have to go back and read that again because I think I completely missed that. I'm not sure what that even means, to be honest. Really can't tell.
There's several guys with burn scars. That could mean anything.
All right, so let's get into the closeout, of this chapter, and so this would explain why Buggy became an emperor. So let's get right into it, Matthew. Buggy founded a group, and it's called Cross Guild. Now, what's interesting about this Cross Guild is that they, like the Marines, put out bounties for pirates, and they go after them. What's interesting about this organization is that they, in turn, will put out bounties on Marines. And I think that's a way of trying to, I don't know if that's a way to
level the playing field.
Level the playing field, maybe intimidate some of the Marines. You know, that might be something. So, you know, that means that, hey, you're probably going to have bounty hunters now, because bounty hunters really aren't bound to the law, per se. So they could be going after.
Well, let's face it, the only bounty hunters we ever saw in the story was Zoro, pre-joining the Straw Hats.
And then Johnny and Yosaku.
Yeah, and then Johnny and Yosaka. It's like bounties just... it's like, let's face it, who is a bounty hunter? I couldn't, unless Blackbeard got Ace's bounty. I mean,
so Matthew,
that's what I think of.
Like Buggy did with the Buggy's Delivery Service, you know, he recruited several powerful pirates to the organization, which, in that way, it you know, led the world government to recognize him as a Shichibukai at that time. But then once his Shichibukai privileges were revoked, he kind of had to think of some alternative methods to try and stay out of trouble. So now we thought, you know, well, let me go with the first surprising reveal of who ended up. And I see this. I don't see them as these individuals as having submitted to Buggy as much as being this is definitely an alliance, because these pirates, their caliber, they're not submitting
They're
to
high above Buggy.
So our first pirate, infamous pirate who joined with Buggy, would be Luffy's first Shichibukai encounter. Well, actually no, I should say his encounter fight, and that would be Crocodile. And we knew Crocodile was going to be in the New World, and I'm very sure that this means that Cross Guild also has Das Bonus with him, because Das Bonus was going to follow Crocodile into the New World. So the fact that Crocodile
they had a mutual respect relationship that just did not apply to anyone else in what's it called, in
Alabasta, or in
in Baroque Works. They had a mutual respect for each other that just, they had a mutual respect for each other, where it's like, essentially Das Bones followed Crocodile's every orders, and Crocodile clearly valued him as a another thing is the fact that Baroque Works were made up of
they were made up of bounty hunters.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, maybe that's another thing, is that Buggy is utilizing that former Baroque Works network.
Maybe. I mean, Crocodile may have some.
I mean, we know that most of the what's it called, officer, of the officer agents were basically chilling out in. Were they chilling out in Alabasta?
I think they were at first, and then a couple of them got captured and taken to a Marine base, and then I think.
Where are they chilling now?
That's a good question. Because let's see here. Well,
we know that Bon Clay is in Impel Down in level 4.5.
Yeah.
We know that. What's number 3's actual name? Mr. 3?
Mr. 3. Gosh, it's on the tip of my.
Yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue too.
It starts with Galdino.
Yeah, Galdino just automatically joined Buggy.
You gotta imagine Galdino is in there too, because it's gonna be the remnants of Buggy's delivery service. So you're gonna have those level 6, what do you call those? The level 6 convicts.
You're gonna have Alvida. You're gonna have his former crew.
Right. Well, yeah, Moji and Kabaji. Moji and Kabaji were his two right-hand men, plus the lion. And then you got Galdino was also in there. And then, Alvida was also in there too. So then, but other than that, when it came to the, let's see here. Okay, so, yeah, what was really funny is when they did that post, the short story thing that Oda did, and that ended up revealing, I don't know if that actually was the one that revealed all their names and stuff. But I think probably the Vivri cards were the ones where they, you'll get a lot of people whose names are revealed because of the Vivri cards. But anyway, Zala was Miss Doublefinger, and she was the one running the Spiders Cafe. Now, let me see here. So, yeah, what they did was they made a new Spiders Cafe, and let's see here. So, okay.
Did they list where?
According to the wiki, it says that it's on an unknown island. So they're not on Alabasta anymore. And judging by how well things are going for them out there at the end of their story, I doubt that they're going to leave that anytime soon.
Yeah, because let's see, that little group consisted of.
You had So the names, okay. So their new names revealed are, you got Zala, who was Ms. Doublefinger.
Doublefinger.
You had Marianne, who was Ms. whatever Galdino's partner agent name was. Gosh, now I gotta look. Oh, wasn't it like Golden Week or something like that?
Yeah, Miss Golden Week.
Yeah, she was Miss Golden Week. So you got. I don't know if this is pronounced Babe or Bobby, but that was Mr. Four. And then Drophy was Miss Merry Christmas. Mikta was Miss Valentine. Jem was Mr. Five. And then Lasso is also with them, who was the dog. Yeah.
So they're just all chilling at the
They're all chilling at the new Spiders Cafe, So, well, but anyway,
as I recall, didn't they give Des, Bones, and Crocodile the chance to join them, and they just decided, we're just gonna chill.
Yeah, we're gonna chill out at Impel
whatever the
Down
base they were at.
Yeah. So anyway, so there we are. We got Crocodile. In an alliance. I'm calling this an alliance. It's definitely not. He's working for.
Yeah, because there's no way that it's like we all know based off of the Impel Down break, he looks down upon Buggy. Which I think I think is definitely not unjustified. He's leagues above Buggy in terms of skills. And then Mihawk just destroyed both of them. Oh yeah, we didn't talk. Oh yeah, did I spoil that?
Yeah. So our second person, we thought he was gonna make an alliance with Shanks, but it's Mihawk. Dracula Mihawk, the strongest swordsman in the world, has also joined Cross Guild. So you got three Shibukai in the mix, but you've got the strongest swordsman in the world. So I think
and founder of Baroque Works.
Right. So here's the thing. Here's how I think that they all kind of got together, because they were. What's the one place that they were all at the same time, Matthew?
Marineford.
Yes, Marineford. They're all there. So again, I don't know how Buggy contacted them, unless it was the other way around. I'm very sure that Buggy was trying, Buggy obviously, because he was in the middle of trying to sneak out the back door during, the Marine invasion, of Buggy's delivery service.
He had to have contacted them. There's no reason why
that, or you do
Mihawk
know that,
or Crocodile would reach out to them.
Well, and let's think about this. I have to imagine that it did not take Mihawk long to finish his battle with the Marines who came to apprehend him.
They should have sent. It's like if you're taking on, it's like Buggy. Understandable.
Mihawk.
I'm gonna throw out some examples. So Buggy, understandable target. They just send send out whomever. He ran because he knew he couldn't deal with anyone they were throwing after him. Boy, Hancock had been more of a challenge. Probably should have sent an admiral at her. Mihawk. It's like the strongest swordsman in the world. It's like you needed an admiral minimum.
Like, did you not see that he cut the glacier that who was it that made the glacier at Marineford?
Who's the former admiral?
Aokiji.
Aokiji made the glacier, and he cut the glacier.
Mihawk had that thing. It's like, did you not remember this particular thing about Mihawk before you sent some Marines after him? So I'm
whoever
almost
was
wondering.
this could not have been. This could not have been. I forgot what. This could not have been Sakazuki's mentality. Someone else lower on the totem pole had to have been sending those people out.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, and what's the name of I forgot who's Newgate who's Whitebeard's son, alleged son?
Oh gosh.
Is it Edward Weevil or Weevil New?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Edward
Weevil. It's like, okay, he's understandable. Send the people out. Buggy, understandable. Send the people out. You could send some rear admirals out against those two, but Boa Hancock and Mihawk,
they both participated.
They should have been sending one admiral minimum. They really should have been realistically sending two admirals up against Mihawk. Take your two best, send them up against Mihawk, and then send the last one against Boa Hancock. That's what they really should have been doing.
But here's my theory as to how maybe Buggy got out of his jam: is that Mihawk finished off the plebs that were sent after him, and then he's like, okay, well, time to go on a journey. So he gets back into his little
dinghy.
Boat.
It's been officially called a dinghy.
So he gets into his dinghy and he's floating around, and then miraculously he arrives to Buggy's location, and he's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take out all these Marines here too. And then Buggy's like, let's join hands. And
of course Mihawk doesn't have anything else to do, so he's like,
well, and here's one thing another thing I'm kind of curious. So Mihawk is friends with Shanks, right? And it is common knowledge in the world, as long as you're paying attention to stuff, that Buggy and Shanks were both on Roger's crew, which means that Mihawk is privy to that information as well. And he's probably might be a little bit too prideful to join with Shanks. So he's probably thinking that he could probably use Buggy to, certain ends. So he's like, let's join forces, is what I
he has enough, he has enough mental acuity to know that from the beginning that Luffy was not someone to have ever been trifled with. He already knows this kid's got something special about him. So he's too prideful to deal with Shanks, because Shanks is right. Has similar mental acuity, whereas Buggy is like, I can manipulate this guy.
And I'm wondering, and again, the real question is, how did Crocodile end up joining?
It is possible that both Crocodile and Mihawk are using.
Oh, definitely, they're both using
Buggy to their own ends.
Yeah, but and probably, and the reason because of that is because Buggy probably has access to a lot of resources. He probably has access to a lot of resources.
Oh, yes, and it's like 2 years building up Buggy's delivery service, and that was used as the base of Cross Guild, and it's possible that, again, like I said, that even though Crocodile's goal was to dissolve Baroque Works once he took over Alabasta, he probably still does have access to that network of of all the agents, whoever front, because we know that all the agents were going to be loyal to the very end, whether it's what's left of the frontier agents, whether it's I have no idea whatever happened to the Unluckies. Did they join the
Marines.
Officer agents?
No, they joined the Marines.
They joined the Marines.
What's
left of the millions, what's left of the billions, who are all officer agent, who are all Baroque Works members, and were bounty hunters before that, he still probably has access to that network. So that's basically the only people I could possibly think of that would be willing to go after Marines. Is that, he basically probably put a call out to his own network and said, these are bounties against Marines, because we all knew these people were if they were part of Baroque works, they were already morally
corrupt.
Yeah, corrupt to begin with. So if they're going to say, go after these Marines, some of whom probably do not have any idea how bad the absolute justice of the Marines are. Because let's face it, there are good people in the Marines. Just like there are good people who are pirates, like the Straw Hats. So
anyway, this is definitely, so yeah, 3 Shichibukai have bound together, and I think, but also I think
this would definitely make any kind of battle between factions a lot more intriguing.
Yeah, definitely. I'm almost wondering. So I'm almost wondering. You got to imagine that all the former Shichibukai now are probably going to be making alliances, definitely. So Hancock will probably ally with someone. Who it is, I don't know.
Well, if I'd be willing to bet money, I'd say Luffy. I don't think she considers herself his lover, even if he's.
Well, here's the thing, because Luffy's a Yonko now, he can claim that.
Amazon Lily.
Yeah, he can claim Amazon Lily because he's definitely gonna claim Fishman Island, and he's got people that are gonna fight for him at Fishman Island. He can claim Amazon Lily, and he'll definitely have people that are gonna back him up there. And I think also, and the really interesting thing is how Bartow's been kind of making dents. He's been
the whole reason why Shanks is decided not to go to what's it called was because he needed to go to Bartow first deal with Bartow.
So,
which is going to be interesting because that's going to be the first engagement head to head between a member of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, which is essentially Luffy's Yonko alliance,
right,
and the red hair pirates. So this is gonna be the first engagement between the current set standard of the Yonko powers.
Yeah,
I really still think that there's probably gonna be some kind of alliance between. Oh, here's an idea: 2 Yonko alliances, Shanks and Luffy versus Blackbeard and Buggy.
I don't think Buggy would be open to it. Or I don't think. In my opinion, I don't think Blackbeard or Buggy would be open to allying with each other. In my opinion.
Well, the other thing I'm thinking of is if Luffy, Shanks, and Buggy made a super alliance against Blackbeard.
Yeah, the other thing though is I don't think Shanks really wants to make an alliance with Luffy because he still wants to go after the One Piece, and Luffy, I think, recognizes that in order to get to the One Piece, he's gonna have to defeat the other emperors because he made that statement before. So that means that he's prepared to fight Shanks when the time comes. So I think though Shanks will have a lot more implications to the story, but
I'm still trying to think of how in the world a battle like that would happen.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly thinking, are one of the two going to hesitate? Because
we'll see.
Here's how I would envision Luffy hesitating: is he somehow gets a shot against Shanks, but it's on his left side. And
then the trauma of that event.
Yeah, and it's like if he has a flashback and he just hesitates for 1 minute, The only other situation is Shanks having, I don't know if it would be like a kill shot or a devastating shot, and him having a flashback of young Luffy. Or maybe both happening during the battle.
All right, Matthew. Well, that was definitely
or maybe they have those moments, but they don't hesitate.
Yeah. So anyway, Matthew, we'll need to close out this episode. So Matthew, where can our audience find us on our podcast episodes?
Well, let's see. You said you connected the YouTube to the what's it called?
I need to still do that.
Okay. Once you do that, okay. So currently we are on YouTube,
Rumble.
For the video podcast, we're on YouTube, Rumble, and then once you connect it,
yeah, we're gonna sync Odyssey also.
Yeah, we'll sync Odyssey.
And we'll look at some other platforms.
And for the audio podcast, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
And then we also do have a presence on Twitter, although we haven't been kind of active on it recently. But our plan is to try and use Twitter to reach out to some possible individuals to interview, because we would like to do that as part of our format going forward for the podcast. So you can find us on Twitter also at Sambros, I think is at Samurai Brothers. I think it's
at Samurai Bros.
Yeah.
It might be at the Samurai Bros.
Just to make sure of for now. Yeah, so we are at the Samurai Bros, so make sure that you follow us there. And then Matthew he runs MMA Freak, so make sure to follow him at Matthew Salzer on Twitter. The MMA Freak official Twitter is at MMA Freakout. And then the website you can visit at mma-freak.com. And then I do plan on putting out some content going forward as long as time allows me to. Obviously, we don't do this full time. We do this because we just love to talk about sports and Japanese culture and manga and anime. And so we're hoping that we can make some more fun stuff, more fun content going forward.
And stay tuned to my personal YouTube channel. I will be putting stuff out primarily related to Microcon, but also I do need to put the stuff out for our family trip to Hawaii. And then that should take me probably into October, at which point I'll be doing some. I always try to do something Halloween themed every year, so I'll be doing some stuff there.
All right. So once again, Matthew, thank you for your insightful commentary, and to all our audience members, hope you have a great rest of your week, and we will be talking to you again soon.